Welcome to the Digital Marketing Insights podcast, brought to you by Brightside Digital.
Hi everyone, welcome to the show. I'm delighted to say we have Bryan here today, who's Head of Marketing and Client Success. How are you doing, Bryan?
Good, thanks for having me. Happy Friday.
Well, yeah, Bryan, it's a good Friday so far. Bryan, can we start off by you just telling everyone a little bit about yourself, what you're up to now and your career up until then?
Yeah, so my name is Bryan Gaynor. I'm currently the Head of Marketing and Client Success at Online. We're a virtual accounting firm based in Ireland. Clients across the UK. I've recently just started a role about 3-4 months ago. So my background, I think like the majority of people that listen to the podcast, started in the agency world. Started as a paid search manager, moved into programmatic, paid social. Moved into a role at, probably to do my age now, is like people remember PPC Hero Blog and the agency behind that. Spent 5 years there, moved on to Brain Labs Digital out of the UK. And then decided to leave the agency world and go to the dark side. And I've been in-house over the last couple of years and had a couple of roles within the US and across the US and Europe, across looking at leading performance marketing, leading growth marketing. I've had a lot of fun experiences, good experiences, bad experiences. I've learned a lot over the last 10, 11 years of my career and, decided to just keep going and, put this role I have right now.
Well, but your experience speaks for itself, and it's so good to see you have tried different markets, different types of marketing. But I suppose my first question would be, what is your comfort zone? What do you feel is your main skill set in digital, I suppose?
Yeah, I think digital, I've dabbled in everything, where I spent a lot of time in programmatic, top, middle of funnel, ABM. When I joined Hampton, I started as like a paid search manager, but with the background on programmatic, it was like, to manage programmatic, here's a major airline we have as clients, here's all their budget, so that's where I sort of dove into it. Where my strengths lie, definitely in top and middle of funnels, or creating that demand generation strategy, brand awareness, thinking about things from a strategic point of view. Search is great, and search has evolved so much where it's, without strategy now, search doesn't really do a lot. And, with so much automation and the way Google is leading things, with less control over things, it's become more the strategy of thinking about things, thinking about how you speak to your audience, the types of phrasing you use, the types of messaging, the audience targeting. It's still important, but it's looking at how you approach it is become more and more. I think that 5 to 7 years I spent in programmatic, and where it was just a wild west of targeting and battling bots and trying to find the right message with the right price. Even it's starting strong now because I'm having much more strategically and much more high level to drive results. It's not like you spend X, you get Y. It's like you spend X, you get Y, but also these 5 other things across paid social, affiliate, influencer, programmatic, PR, all have a huge impact because, most industries have gotten so competitive and the landscape has become such more saturated with competition to find ways to stand. So I think, that's what sort of been my biggest strength is like taking that as like that strategic, high level creative thinking as opposed to, just running, paid campaigns.
Yeah, because there's a couple of big things you mentioned there. So you saying the current landscape for most industries, you need multiple touch points before you're going to get that activation and conversion. So that's the first thing. So you're saying the days of having a really strong paid campaign or organic campaign is gone. You need the whole 360 to anyway survive is your first point.
Yeah, exactly. One of my great best bosses told me, like, search is great for like harvesting demand, like, and if people are searching for an actual problem, they, search is great for capturing that. But you think in B2B, there's that old adage of like, only 5% of your market is actually in market for something. So how do you create the team to go beyond that 5%? You have to relate to users, relate to prospects, and relate to people like that, that very early stages of funnel, like relay the pain points. Here's your pain points. Like, I looked in account when I was working in the US for accounting firm. It's like, we just love to say taxes in the year. Like the US tax code is so complex, it's like 70,000 pages, and like not every small business owner goes into owning a business to, do taxes or do bookkeeping or whatever. So like pain point that when it comes to the pain point we're trying across, like, you focus on your business. We do all the boring work. We do all the tedious work, and it's getting that message of pain point across and find that pain point solution messaging that you get across really quickly to then nurture people through the funnel. There's always this debate of like whether you date content, not date content. I want to decide of like you don't date content, but you provide value of content and value of education, and you give people enough information that you that they can't do it themselves. But ultimately, if you want it done right, you want it done where there's no errors or whatever it may be, you can hire us, and we can be your partner. We can help you through that process. And and that's sort of what I've always done. Whereas in B2C or B2B is like, here's a problem, here's a solution, here's why we're. So I think it's found that that ability to add multiple touch points, multiple points of contact, multiple forms of information, and also just providing value across the board. So it's not like one transactional. You build a relationship with prospects and eventual clients. After they become a customer, is like how do you continue that relationship? Because again, it's great. Like growth comes from acquisition of clients and customers, but your profit is going to come from retention and from the retention of those clients. So you have to remember, like once you acquire them, you can't just forget about them. You have to keep nurturing. You have to provide value beyond just what my role right now. It's like it's marketing, not client success. So like those are skill sets to understand what's the pain points of our existing clients is beyond the client. How do we help solve those with, we have to solve those and find for. So it's using the right tone of voice, making sure we're thinking ahead and we're providing value to the client from like first click to basically 4 years of being a customer.
With your background though, are you still on day one? Are you still going back to your basics of doing a huge keyword research project? Are you still monitoring keywords and coming from that your previous search history? That is the foundation of your work, but then you just now know you have to think the bigger picture, the bigger awareness pieces, your media and everything else, your socials, everything that can create that awareness, that top funnel.
Yeah, it's still fundamental. So again, it gives you insight of like, you look at, you go into different, you look at what's the SUR, and how are people finding us and what terms are using to find us? Like, how can we use that to build content of like, okay, this person searched for, form a company. And it's like, okay, do we have content around, what types of content? Is it digestible? Is it, easy to read? Does it need to be maybe a quick 60-second TikTok, or does it need a quick 20-minute webinar? What's the through the process? So you start there and you sort of sample it up from that, and it sounds simple, but it puts plans in motion to do that. But yeah, whenever I start a role, I immediately dive straight into sort of my comfort zones, and I'm like, okay, where are we spending? Are we spending it right? Okay, and then how do we use what we've learned from what we spent to then grow a program? Multiple programs, whether that's for them referrals, GA, for them referrals from like B2B publications. Okay, could we set up a PR relationship or affiliate relationship? Is it social? We could need content for those to help build this content, especially with your small team. So, you're not having to hire a full-time resource, but you can build a diverse network of creators to, help you build a social program. Or if it's purely, paid as being the fundamental, how efficient is that being paid? Is that paid being? And, what can we do to be more efficient and be stable from the end? So, yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. And do you have an example of a campaign or project that you did that you are really proud of, that you made really successful, something that you always think fondly of?
Yeah, I think there's one. I mean, there's been a few. Been lucky enough to have a huge diverse client on. I think it's like it's been a bit diverse in the right range of clients. But I think there was one client that went to the detail name, but I was working and they were like a B2B B2B SaaS company. They were based out of the Bay Area. They had a global presence. They were did on valuation through IPO. Their pay partner was out to trade at the time. So they did money to us. It was one of those where they were spending 50, 60,000 certain in the remarketing platform month that was 80% of the impressions were going to apps. The search wasn't really well structured. They had no paid social. And over time, what we did is we basically was re-envisioning into the funnel. So with search, we built into a tiered system. We allocated budget to what I call tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, where tier 1 was these high intent keywords that people were looking for X solution, Y solution. Tier B is the problem. And then tier 2 was the problem. Tier 3 was the sort of high level, what is X and what is Y, and we sort of funnel traffic to a piece of content. And we did this, with social, and then using social, we activated across, remarketing, like audiences at the time, which were when we were at the time working. We really scaled into LinkedIn, and what we found is when we got more intentful with the budget and the tracking and the bidding, just the type of content we're putting it to each segment of the launch or each stage of the funnel, we are able to see much more quality engagement. We're able to weed out things a little bit better. And over time, we were able to, we grew over 2 years ago, in 2 years. We went, I think it was, I think the 89 quarters of continuous growth in pipeline. And it was just one of those really fun projects, because it wasn't a quick win. It was slow. I think I had, at the time, 6 or 7 different groups across, it was starting working really well, and single team groups. And it was just a really complex account of it was constantly keeping me thinking. Your concept is across the North America, it was across EMEA, and it was across APAC. So we had regional budgets, we had campaign budgets, and then it allowed us there was one campaign that they're working in 60 different ways, and report on it. And then also, their attribution was, it was, everyone was on the Salesforce, and then into Edo, and then into Tableau. So then we had to work with their marketing ops team to figure out attribution, and, trying to argue with, C-suite executives that building, which doesn't stop doing LinkedIn because it's producing pipeline right now. And eventually, when I lost that battle, when we had to do pipeline for Q1, Q2, $1 million in pipeline came in Q4. And so it's it ended up being one of our more higher return investment channels over the course of the year. But again, it was a $100,000, $200,000. So again, the sales cycle just a little longer. It did higher in the funnel, so it's going to take convert. And so again, it's understanding how to probably understand how to negotiate with executives of I know I sound like I'm a crazy person, we should keep spending into X channel. We're totally going to basically turn down to the ground and maybe build this. But it took time, and I said, it wasn't a quick win. It took probably 6 months before we started seeing truly positive results. But again, I was lucky enough that the client contacts I had, like trusted in us as a team, that we got to that point, and they just see the small momentum building week over week, month over month. But I'd say that's the one. It's one I boast about the most. Like, I think when I was a 100, we did a lot of good things. I had a great team around me. I had a paid search director who I'd worked with, who was a genius, and the VP was a former professor. And again, we built a great team around me, and I had a great performance team under me as well. So, but that, I think of the things that I sort of directly controlled. That was probably that SaaS part was definitely the one that was really enjoyable.
Is that part of the secret as well, especially in your experiences, is trying to find people you can trust that are really specialists and good at certain areas, ones that are reliable for like business owners listening? Is that the key to success, is finding good people?
Yeah, it definitely is. Like, it's a bond, and I had a great support team when I was working as well. Like when I was leading clients, if we had multiple people on it, but since I've gone in house, I've learned having people you can hand stuff off and trust that they're going to do the work. My just last is like, it takes 10 hours a week or 20 or 40 hours a week, whatever it does, I don't care, as long as I see results, and I trust my team to do that. I think that's the biggest thing. I don't believe in hours work. I believe in the output that's from those hours. And it is, I've had great teams. People I've had to let go, because it wasn't a good fit for the company at the time. And, the performance wasn't there. And like, at the end of the day, when you fire someone, you put your own neck out on the line, and you have to, take the good and bad. Ultimately, it's like, if it's not working, it's not working, and you have to trust it. You have to trust the team around you, because if you hire people for a reason. If you're a CEO, you start your business. You don't start your business because unless you're like me or you're not saying. You don't start your business to do accounting or do marketing or you start because you have a thing. You don't think about the other things. So you need to hire people around you that are doing. I do it all the time. My team, can see school on something that's new. That I look at things I'm looking to evolve. It's like TikTok. I know the basis of media buying, but understanding TikTok as a whole every day, because it's just I want people. So if you're looking to grow a team and you want to grow your business, you want to learn to be okay what you know and what you don't know. So, yeah.
Brilliant. And is there any particular softwares you use daily, weekly, monthly that you swear by, that you're like, okay, this will get me through anything?
I mean, I think it depends on the role. It's when I'm still in the media buying mindset. I look what I'm seeing from Facebook ad library, LinkedIn ad library, to for B2B. It's gotten better over the years. It's just good inspiration. It's good pulse check and see, okay, we're on the right track. We're creative development, or you see, okay, there's an opportunity because our competitors are not spending into the space, or it helps check you to see, okay, my paid socials for the last 3 days, what's happened? Oh, X company has just scaled up their spend in the last 2 days, and that's why we're just seeing more competition. If you are doing media buying across social, like just understanding what the landscape is looking like, and then making sure that you're at least in line with what competitors are doing. I think in my role right now, a good CRM is a key component to understanding the split of our customer type, understanding how revenue is doing, what's leading to strong revenue, which channels are driving the revenue. We're working on like using it as that central sort of source of truth for reporting, for revenue reporting, for lead reporting, but also how do we segment audiences to grow CRM campaigns, since it's upsell, cross-sell. how do we use that to, okay, we're seeing a huge spike in performance from X industry or Y industry. How do we activate against that across paid, or how do we create content around that? So I said I'm in my role less than 3 months, so it's been a lot of things in the I'm still figuring out right now. Like my CRM is doing where looking at things and using that for ideas. Obviously, I'm not back to my old school. Like, paid is going to be a big component. Like, you look at how the SERPs are evolving, and it's mostly ads, and these new particularly like swipeable formats they're starting to test as well. It's definitely not to compete on paid. But again, that's probably where they're probably the tools I use the most right now. 50 others, but they're the ones I start to see off the top of my head.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. And where would you go for new insights and information? Obviously, you have to stay up to date in this game. Like, where's your go-to places?
Yeah, I mean, I think especially in B2B, like LinkedIn, there's a lot of good people out there. I think there's too many to even think off the top of my head. I spent some time in D2C and sort of an e-com for a while. I tried to get a lot of learnings from people from there. So Twitter was or X now was a great spot to go to for D2C Twitter, understanding that what's working in consumer world that we can take into the B2B world. TikTok is a good source of, you can find the right people to get, just again, creative ideas, whether it's like looking at, that's a creative ad rather than insightful content, so I tend to spend, get my most inspirations from the socials. Just about, obviously, like, I don't to show my age, it's going back to like search engine, you can see what's happening there, what crazy they've come out in the last couple of months with. But that's right. Thankfully, LinkedIn has evolved, and the algorithms evolved, where like the content just comes naturally, and it's there. It's a big source of me.
Brilliant. And is there anything you're looking into upskilling yourself right now? Like, is there anything that you are really interested in?
Yeah, I think for me, you're right. It's like, I'm more geared like to the party, but it's more using generative to, especially with a small team, that how do we use it to take the sort of workload off my team, so I'm not having to, GPT is great, but also how do we use it for creative development? Hopefully as it gets better and more affordable, like video development, so we're not having to do production videos, or it's why I'm reaching to content creators to help us with that as well. But AI is definitely, it's evolving. It's it's been a huge part of the buying process for so long. But I think from a marketing standpoint and marketing sort of operations standpoint, it's really, it's not going to take over. There still has to be a human eye to it. But when you have a small team, it's definitely beneficial to have just that automated resource that you at least do the groundwork and then make it action and make adjustments after the fact. But yeah,
brilliant. And what would you see is a big opportunity in digital now, in the digital industry? If you could give business owners or any digital marketers listening just an idea of, okay, I would check this out right now because it's a bit of an interesting opportunity.
Yeah, so I'm not sure the widespread availability yet, but I know when I was towards the end of my time in the US, like connected TV was becoming much more like in terms of like just buying across like having TV content. It was becoming much more sophisticated. Like we were running it, of course, during our busy season last season and during that season, like it didn't have a huge positive ROI, just about broke even, but what it did is it influenced a lot of the digital running and drove a ton of interest. We have like targeted, the quality we're getting of traffic was solid. It wasn't like, we worked with Mountain, which is owned by Reynolds. So again, he's saying that's free. His creative background, they helped us with build creative for it, and build the right type of creative, but also the tech behind was immense in terms of to really only and truly want to be. We were targeting small business owners, chapters, freelancers, and there was always some, spillage, and like you get in front of the wrong people at times, but it allowed us to create a whole new medium that we can get in front of people. So it's not just YouTube or social or search, but it allowed us to, again, take another step beyond becoming a bigger company, a bigger brand, even with our large competitors like advertising, where they have $1 billion budgets, and here's us with a much more modest budget, but I was like, it allows us to break into the TV space, which has been on a table for a lot of small brands over the years, and it allows you to do it. So, and I'm not sure, I haven't looked into it since I've gotten back, but I think it's going to evolve over time, and it definitely more and more. It's there. If you can get into it early, I should recommend it.
Yeah, and that's your programmatic kind of background coming into play a little bit there as well. Yeah. Well, I completely agree, and I think especially TV, it's for several decades. It's been either the ads around a TV show, but it's just been one size fits all. Really, is the point I'm making. So it does make sense now that more people are watching YouTube on TV or Netflix on TV, and Netflix having an ad package coming in and stuff. The personalization of the ads and the targeting is going to be huge. It's going to be a huge game.
Exactly.
Bryan, I could speak all day, but I'm going to have to ask you the last question on the show, which is a personal one. It's, if you could bottle up one personality trait that you have yourself that you could pass on to others, what would it be?
Well, I think, I'm in a lucky position where I've been able to take a lot of chances in my career. Like, it's, don't be afraid to make mistakes. I think, I've definitely taken a lot of risks over, with different campaigns, different strategies. 9 times out of 10, they won't pay off, or they'll pay off, but there's always that 10% risk that it won't. And, it's sometimes the risk outweighs as long as you have a rationale behind it, most people will recognize, like, not everybody's going to be perfect. We do marketing, we're not miracle workers. Like, it's one of those, like, don't be afraid. That's one show, like, I think I've taken to a lot of my roles, like, don't be afraid to take chances, don't be afraid to, speak your mind and, negotiate up in terms of, like, this is what I think we can do. I can't guarantee it, but ultimately it's, you're not going to grow without taking risks, and you're not going to grow, personally without taking risks and learning things and learning from your mistakes. I think, the Bryan Gaynor, 50 different brands, the mistakes you've made in your career, but you take that, you learn from it. They're the biggest learners. You don't learn by success, you learn by that'll be the one sort of thing, is like, take risks and, don't be afraid to mess up.
Yeah, I love that advice. I'm going to take it. And that's it. Thanks so much for doing the show. Bryan, if people want to find you, touch base with you, how can they find you?
Probably LinkedIn. I'm not overly active in terms of, like, posting. I'm trying to get back to that, but I'm definitely, that's probably my most active social, at least when it comes to work related, and Twitter and more sort of watcher them in the corner, nothing else. But LinkedIn is probably the best way to reach out. If you're a small business owner and you're looking for accounting solutions, check out Kevin online, and happy to help you.
Thank you, Bryan. Thanks everyone for watching, listening, and thanks for following the show.
Thanks for having me.